thank you all for coming out tonight. I know your conversation is probably a little bit more exciting than me, so, but we might need to take a break. Okay. All right. Thank you guys all for coming out tonight. This is the first Association of Cannabis Professionals Political Action Committee fundraiser. So yeah, thank you guys all for coming and supporting us. We really, really appreciate it. So before we get started, I wanted to say thank you to all of our sponsors. We have some amazing folks that really helped make this whole event happen and to really give us some success going into this election cycle in November. First off, we have Weed Maps. Thank you to Weed Maps for sponsorship. We have Hawthorne Gardening Company. We have Ramona Cannabis Company. We have Strainwise. We got Aaron Phillips over here who's representing Strainwise. Actually, Donnie from Ramona Cannabis Company is here as well. Thank you, Donnie. We have McElfresh Law, Jessica, who's actually the president of the Association of Cannabis Professionals. And then last but not least, we have Outco, who really helped put all this together. So thank you, Link, and thank you, Virginia, for making all this happen. We really, really appreciate it. Then as co-hosts, we have Olive Tree Wellness. We have Rennie Bowden here. Where's Rennie at? Oh, Rennie? All right. Yeah, he's probably at the bar. Okay, thank you, Rennie. Really appreciate it. And then our activist level, we have the 1 Minute Cannabis. We have Robin Lynn, who's here. Thank you so much, Robin. Oh, there she is. Okay. All right, awesome. So tonight we have a few awesome guests that are very, very pro-cannabis. We've really been pushing for this for since January or even last year when people started running for office. So here tonight we have David Myers, who's running for City Council in La Mesa. All right, we have Seamus Kendi, who's here to represent Dr. Jen Campbell, who's running for City Council in District 2, against Lori Zapp, who is by far the worst cannabis candidate, or the worst cannabis elected official in City Council. We have Chuck Lowry in Oceanside, running in District 1. We have Michelle Gomez, who's running for County Board of Supervisors, District 5. And we have Nathan Fletcher, who's running for County Board of Supervisors in District 4. Yeah. Thank you all for coming out and showing your support for us tonight. We really appreciate it. So, this year we have the unique opportunity that this is the very first year that we have cannabis legalization in California. In 2016, we had Prop 64, but this is the first election cycle that all of our candidates need to know about this issue. And the candidates that we have here today have been out front talking about this issue. There's a bunch of other candidates that have kind of talked about it a little bit, but these ones in particular have been very out front talking about it, really pushing the issue. And so that's why we wanted to have them here, and we really thank them for their support moving forward. From the Association of Cannabis Professionals standpoint, we're here because we want to help make sure that our pro-cannabis candidates get elected this year. Like I said, this is the first year that we've been doing this, and so a lot of education for candidates takes place in their campaign cycle. This is where they actually need to go out and talk to the communities, they need to get the feedback from the communities, and they need to hear about all of our issues. And this year we have a very, very big issue. Turns out people like cannabis. I don't know if you knew that, you know? So we're thankful for all of our candidates that are really pushing for those efforts. And all the money that we brought in today will be going to all of our pro-county candidates throughout the county. And we also have a couple tax measures in La Mesa and in Chula Vista that we'll be supporting as well. If you're not familiar with those ones, we have tax measures that are applied to adult use cannabis legalization in both La Mesa and Chula Vista. And so we really want to help make sure those ones go forward as well. That being said, once again, thank you all for coming. I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic off to Lincoln Fish with Outco. He's the CEO of Outco. They are close to the El Cajon area. They're in the unincorporated areas of San Diego County. And without their help and Virginia's help, this wouldn't be possible. So I want to say thank you very much for Lincoln and Outco, and go ahead and pass it off to him.
Thanks, Taylor. You know, it's funny, I never saw myself as a sort of one-issue voter. Well, right now, obviously, I've got a major issue that I'm voting on. But one of the nice things about it is one of the things I find is that the pro-cannabis candidates tend to pretty much are much more informed, and they fall in line with a lot of things I care about on a whole bunch of other issues. So I'm very excited about the slate of candidates we're we're talking about this evening. So we really wanted to support all of these candidates, and we were very supportive of Dave Myers when he was running for sheriff. That would have been, frankly, it would have made our life a whole lot better, Dave, if you just won that. I know you did. We'll reconnect again on many things, I'm sure. But I just want to thank you guys. The reality is we've needed champions in our industry at the political level. We've had a lot of reluctant support. One of the things I hear all the time is, well, gee, I guess I'll vote for this because, no one's, died on the street because of it, but, I don't really believe in it. We hear that over and over and over again. And I'll never forget very distinctly the first time Nathan came out to our office and said, this is a major issue for me. This is an important issue for me because as a combat vet and so forth, he saw firsthand what's going on and what it can do and, and what the alternative is. So it's so exciting to me that we're finally in a place where it matters and people are asking about it. If anybody saw the interview that Michelle had this past week, and she and Jim Desmond were both interviewed, and he frankly sounded like a bumbling idiot in the thing I read, just because he wasn't prepared. Half the conversation was about cannabis, and he just wasn't prepared to discuss it. And by the way, he got most of it wrong about our industry and about our issues and so forth. So I'm really excited to be here this evening. Outco is extremely excited to be a part of this, and I'm going to hand it back over to Dallin, and I guess we'll get started and hear from the candidates who you're actually here to work with.
Awesome, thank you so much again, Lee. All right, so first off tonight, we're going to start with Dave Myers. As Link mentioned, he ran for county sheriff. Didn't work out so well, it's all right. But now we have him running again in La Mesa, and we really need him there. We have medical use available in La Mesa, but we need a lot more help there. And with Dave being elected there, it would help us out a lot. And we're very excited for him to be here tonight. So, thank you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you, Dallin. Thanks, Link and Outco and Virginia, and for everybody being here. So yeah, we did run for sheriff, county-wide, 4,200 square miles, and when you run against your boss and you lose, at the end of June I retired. So after 35 years in law enforcement, I retired at the end of June, took about a month off, and then for those that know Colin Parent out in La Mesa, recently elected council member, he calls me and says, hey, guess what? So he says, you won every precinct in the city of La Mesa in the sheriff's race. So why not put that to use, because I need help on the council. Now, although the council has medicinal, they have what, 22 applications on file. They're still sitting there. And why are they still sitting there? And we have a lot of vacant businesses, a lot of vacant industrial areas in La Mesa that we can put to use. We have now what's going to be Measure V as in victory in La Mesa, which is the excise tax for La Mesa for recreation. We need to get that passed. I have argued for about 2 years now from a law enforcement standpoint, from 35 years in law enforcement, that says it is legal in California now, both medicinal and recreation, to create safe access to actually reduce crime, because the demand is still there. To actually reduce crime, we need law enforcement at the table to help create that safe access, to get out of the way and let industry do what they do. And that is not being done. And I'm going to continue that argument until I'm elected sheriff one day, somewhere. So let me go off of La Mesa just for a little bit. So I've been in county government in the sheriff's department about 35 years. And let's talk about Michelle's race and Nathan's race. We have a county board of supervisors that has stuck their head in the sand. We have a sheriff that has advised them to stick their head in the sand when it comes to regulation of cannabis countywide. There is so much potential in a county of 4,200 square miles. The races that Michelle Gomez and Nathan Fletcher are running in less than 32 days. You think I would know that, right? They need people to walk and call and phone to make this happen, because with their leadership on the Board of Supervisors, we can actually change it in January. It can happen. but it's gonna take everybody in here and more to do that. Now, one more thing before I finish. Thanks everybody for being here. I am still running for La Mesa City Council, so I also need your help. We're having Richard Ledbetter from Away with Words. He's gonna come with a very limited group of 16 people and teach everybody how to play poker. There's not very many people that know that his daughter is the winningest female in U.S. history in poker. So it's an upcoming event at the end of the month, so the flyers are over here on the table. Please take one, sign up, come out. Again, Dave Myers, running the La Mesa City Council. Thanks, everybody.
Great, thank you, Dave. Next, we would have Dr. Jen Campbell. Unfortunately, she is actually in a debate right now with Lori Zaff. So a little background on that race. Lori Zaff is by far the worst cannabis candidate in San Diego, in the city of San Diego. She has thought it's equal to heroin. It gets people, children addicted. Good. All right. Yeah, all of the reefer madness talking points that we've heard about are what Lori Zaff puts forward. Absolutely the worst. And so Dr. Jen, I'll let actually Seamus talk a little bit more about her, but she's going to be going against Lori Zaff. We're really excited about her race. A little bit on Seamus here. Seamus and I worked together on a congressional race back in 2014. He's a really good friend of mine. I'm really excited that he's working for Dr. Jen Campbell now. And another reason why I think that they have a really good chance of winning. So with that, I'll pass to Seamus Kennedy.
Thank you, everybody. Like Dallin said, Jen really did want to be here tonight, and up until we actually found out that Lori Zaff was going to come and debate, this was on her schedule because she really, really wants the support of this industry, and she thinks this is the way forward for so much of what San Diego needs. It's really funny because I've been working in politics for 15 years, and it's amazing to me when you have somebody who doesn't represent the community that they actually serve. District 2 City Council was the second largest vote for cannabis in 2016. And somehow she has never once, not once, voted for any kind of license. Not once. And she's also one who will go and say that the streets of Denver are now covered with thugs and people falling over, and they have glazed eyes and everything. I've been to Denver recently and I didn't see that, so I don't know what part she was in, but she thinks that's what's gonna happen. And that's absurd.
She was in the heroin.
Oh, I see. It was heroin that she was. Okay, well, when we legalize that, then we'll have a problem, I guess. This is really important. This race represents so much that San Diego needs to move forward. We have an industry that needs to grow, and we have 5 votes sitting there waiting to do the work, as long as we can get Jen on there. Jen will be that voice for cannabis. It's a part of our stump speech. It's a part of our walk literature. It's a part of what we do and why we're out there every day. And it's going to take everything to win this race, because we just learned last week that there was $500,000 put against her for a race for 83,000 people. They're going to spend $6 to $8 per vote. They're going to hand out that much money. Like $40 per vote. Vote's going to be cast. They literally could hand that money to the people on TV and probably get the vote faster. But that's what they decided to do against a woman who's running to serve her community. She's never run for office before. She's a 30-year doctor who decided to do this because after years on the Claremont Town Council not getting anything done, not getting any kind of response, just the same as you guys have faced from District 2 office, she's decided, this is something I can do. I want to serve. I want to be here. I don't have a future in this politics. I just want to do this one thing before I go right off into the sunset. And so we're out here trying to fight for your community and her community. And I want to thank you for letting us be here and letting us talk. And anytime, you're going to find an open door in District 2 for the first time ever for this kind of great industry that is the future of what San Diego can be.
Great, thank you, Shane. Next, we have, he's our only elected official that is rerunning again this year. We have Deputy Mayor of Oceanside, Chuck Lowry, who's running in District 1. Yep. Chuck has been a huge voice for us up in Oceanside. He was on the ad hoc committee that put forth a lot of regulations and everything in Oceanside. I'll let him talk a little bit more about it, but yes, welcome, come on up, Chuck Lowry.
So it is pretty darn cool to come down to San Diego when it's not 110 degrees.
So that's why we came this evening. That was just ironic. But anyway, I want to point out to you that we have covered the entire district canvassing, myself and our volunteers. We finished today. We've been working for 6 weeks. Apparently our campaign is the only one that's kicking butt in Oceanside because we're knocking on all those doors. There are other candidates doing all kinds of other things, but we are looking for support from this group of people here because we need to buy some more of these. And these are our message to the public, and the message says what my primary issues are: homelessness, affordable housing, a clean environment, and damn, look at that last one, safe access for medical marijuana. We took this to the seniors in our community, and people are like, well, if you're for marijuana, I'm for you. And it was like, okay, so these, we know there are a lot of Republicans think it's a great issue medically, and we need to have access for the community, and I am proud to say that this week in Oceanside we started taking applications for businesses to operate there, finally. People weren't posting the pictures on Facebook, but they were texting them to me, and they brought in like 5 binders all together with blueprints on the top of it. This is what it takes to get a business open in Oceanside. We're not even at the let's streamline it point yet. We're just like, come on in, let's make it happen. So please, if you've got any chump change, I will be the chump. And we can use whatever you've got. We've had small donations, large donations. We're looking for the mid-level, like the $200, the $300, or even the $15 or $25. And unlike Nathan, I don't have one of those fancy websites where you just say, oh, it's my name plus donate. And, you know, so if you need my name, it's Lowry, the number 4, oceanside.com, and the donation event is the very first thing you see there. So thank you all for coming tonight. I hope we continue to grow it all together, and thank you. Bye.
Just a couple quick notes on that one. Chuck is running against Esther Sanchez up in District 1, which is, his seat's actually one that we really needed to keep there. The other vote that we had there was for Jerry Kern, and Jerry Kern is actually out. And we actually had Larry Cornett here. There he is, yes. Larry Cornett's actually running in Jerry Kern's old spot, so I'll give you a second to come up and chat about it, yeah. Because that's a big seat that we really need, because right now we have the mayor who's a vote, we have Bill Fowler who's a vote. Both of them do not want to see cannabis in Oceanside. So Larry Cornett, him being a vote on there would really help us. And with Chuck running against Esther Sanchez, Esther has really only voted with us on a few things, just so that she can say that she's voted for cannabis things. Not anything that's actually going to make a difference. So have a little bit of passion there. So make sure that you support Chuck here. And I'm going to go ahead and let Larry Cornett talk a little bit.
Thank you. My name is Larry Cornett, as Dallin said, and I am running for Oceanside City Council in District 2, and I'll tell you very quickly my feelings. It is ridiculous to put the kind of constraints on the cannabis industry that some of the people on our city council are looking to do. The one thing that I've told people, and I will tell anybody who wants to listen, anytime I can relieve somebody's pain opiate free, I'm going to do that. My wife suffers from fibromyalgia. Anytime I can help somebody who has chronic pain with something that is safe, I'll do. And from a recreational standpoint, I have never, ever had to break up a fight between 2 guys who were stoned. Drunk, I've had to do that all the time. But it's safe, it's effective, it needs to simply be licensed correctly for a revenue stream for a city, and so that people are able to take what they need, either medicinal or recreational. I look forward to your support. Again, my name is Larry Cornett, running for Oceanside City Council in District 2. Let's get this done.
Thank you, Larry. All right, so our last two are 2 county candidates. For those who aren't aware, we actually had licenses that were granted in the unincorporated areas of San Diego County, such as Ramona Cannabis Company, Olive Tree Wellness, and Alco, and a couple of other ones. As of January 2017, we had a change in the County Board of Supervisors where we had a 3-2 vote that banned everything in the unincorporated areas of San Diego, which is absolutely asinine. So right now we have 2 candidates. We have Michelle Gomez, who's running in District 5. She's taking Bill Horn's old seat. Bill Horan, he was one of the votes against us. So her getting in there, it would change that dynamic tremendously, and we really need her. We really need her support. We really need to get her elected. So, Michelle Gomez, would you come on up?
Thank you, Dallin. Thank you, Link, Austin, Virginia, for hosting this tonight, and thank you, Dallin. It's really a pleasure to be here and see so many of you. I am what I've been dubbed as North County's cannabis champion, and I'm going to tell you that's not a catchphrase. That is something that I truly believe in and something that I'm very passionate about. We need to do everything that's possible to lift this ban in the county. I have a personal stake in this. My husband is a Marine Corps veteran. He uses cannabis for his PTS and his anxiety. I also watched a family friend die because he got addicted to opioids almost instantly, and he couldn't find access to cannabis, and that's a tragedy. So I truly believe that it's imperative that we lift this ban, that we make access available to all of our patients, because patients should have the access to the medication that they desire. My district goes out to Borrego Springs, and there is nothing that they can do but travel all the way to Mission Valley for the medicine that they require and that they need. That's a travesty. We need to make changes in county government, and we need to make changes now, and it's imperative that we elect the right people. Dallin made brief mention of my opponent, who has the ridiculous notion that Kool-Aid stands do not belong on the street corners, and that people are sleeping in their cars and defecating in bushes outside of dispensaries. He is ignorant on the issue, and it's unfortunate, and we need to do everything we can to make sure that I'm elected so that we can turn this around in this county. Again, I appreciate you all being here. My website is michelleforsupervisor.com. I would appreciate all of your support, whether it's knocking on doors, phone banking, contributions, anything you can do to help us out would be greatly appreciated. Again, it's Michelle Gomez, and I thank you for being here.
Thank you, Michelle. All right, last but not least, we have Nathan Fletcher. Nathan Fletcher is running in County Board of Supervisors District 4. He's taking Ron Roberts' seat. Ron Roberts was actually a vote that was for us. So him turning out, we need to make sure that we fill his spot. A little bit of background on Nathan. I worked on Nathan's campaign for mayor back in 2013. One of the people that I think has the most vision of any candidate I've ever worked with or met. That being said, he's a great friend of mine. I want to welcome up Nathan Fletcher.
Hey, let's give it up for Dallin and all the sponsors tonight for coming out tonight. So here's what, and Dallin did. He worked hard for me. He was good. He was good. We tried to forget about that mayor's race. I was walking door to door, and some guy goes, "Yeah, I forgot you ran for mayor." I'm like, "Brother, I try and forget every day too." You know? People say you learn more when you lose. I know Dave's been through that, and I said, "Yeah, you learn how much it sucks to lose. Like that's what you lose." But we're not losing this one. I'm running for the County Board of Supervisors. I'm also the candidate who's going to end the reign of Bonnie DeMantis in San Diego. She has destroyed lives. She has destroyed businesses. She has done things that are absolutely horrible. And you talk about an 8-track approach in an iPod world. I mean, when you talk to her, it's like, hey, like the 20s want their prohibition policy back when it comes to talking about this, because it has to change and the county has to change. Any county that would come in and pass an outright ban on something that makes all of the sense in the world. And Michelle talked about it. I'm a combat veteran. I have watched my friends come home from war and struggle. And what do? We prescribe them things that make the problem worse. We prescribe them things that are actually addictive, that actually are gateway drugs, that actually wreck families and destroy lives. And then when it comes to the thing that actually works for them, people like Bonnie DeMantis say, no, you shouldn't have that. But it's not just the medicinal aspect of cannabis that I support. Nobody in today's environment walks down the street and says we're opposed to the sale, distribution, and consumption of alcohol. And if you aren't opposed to that, then you have no moral standing to say you're opposed to the sale, distribution, and consumption of recreational cannabis. Because there is no difference. And so we have to go out and we have to lead. And I want to tell you that you've seen with the ballot measures, you've seen that change can come and you've seen the public will speak. But just putting it on the ballot in that format is not enough. Now you have to mobilize yourself between city council races to help people like Dave Myers, to help our candidates in Oceanside. right? Because it's not enough to just pass the ballot measure. You need the cities and the counties to put in place the regulatory framework to make sure that it works. And I support this industry because it just makes sense and it's morally right. I also support it because I'm a good Democrat. I like to spend money. So I want y'all to make some money in what you're doing, and then we're going to tax a little bit. It'll be fair. We'll do it right. And then I'm going to take that money, and you know what? I'm going to help foster kids. And I'm going to help veterans who need mental health treatment. And we're going to build transit. And we're going to provide mental health services to people who are in need, and we're going to do a lot of good. And it's one of the few things that is a win-win. But the reality is we're all facing well-funded opposition. And they have resources, and they have money, and that's the way it's always been done. But the way it's always been done is what has to change, and that's what starts in 32 days. And I know exactly how many days it is. We've been counting. We've been doing this for 400 days. And we're running downhill towards the finish line. But I want to encourage you to support this PAC. I want to encourage you to speak with your voice. I want to encourage you to register and vote and turn people out. I heard someone say earlier, they said they want really high voter turnout. I'm like, that's funny. But I'm telling you, you got to get organized, right? You have to get organized. And you have to speak, and you speak with your vote. And when you speak with your vote, then you elect people who will speak for you. And we'll do it from the dais, and we will push, and we'll be in this fight together, right? And this is a fight that we will win. And you know what's going to happen is we're going to pass policies that make sense, and we're going to get model ordinances, and this whole thing's going to happen. And then we're going to go, and we're going to look back 10 years from now, and we're going to say, what the hell was that all about? What was the controversy? What was that all about? But any of these issues, you have to lead, and you have to drive, and you have to push. And so I'm so grateful for all of you who are coming out, who are supporting us, who are standing with us, who are with us as we try to break down these barriers and change people's minds and change the policies so we can get where we need to be today. So for 32 days, we need you. We need you to donate. We need you to support your PAC. We need you to support individual candidates. We need you to come out and volunteer and walk and phone and tell your friends and your neighbors. And then we can come back after the election and we can celebrate our win. And we can regroup and then start a new countdown to the next election until we get there. So thank you very, very much for coming out tonight. And let's win all of these races. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nathan. Yeah. All right. So once again, thank you all for coming out. So once again, all of our sponsors, we have Outco, really helped to organize this and help with this song. Weed Maps, Hawthorne Gardening Company, Ramona Cannabis Company, Strainwise, MacFresh Law Inc., Olive Tree Wellness is a co-host, and 1 Minute Cannabis for the activist level. Last but not least, a couple things. So one, you heard from all of our candidates. We got 32 days left. I know that y'all came and donated and contributed here for this PAC, but I would like to encourage you to donate to all of our pro-cannabis candidates that were here tonight. Also, too, we're going to be putting out a voter guide on Monday that talks about candidates throughout the entire county. So please look forward to that. And once we get that out there, please make sure that you donate to all of those folks as well, because as all of our candidates said, we need to support all of those folks. Us showing our unison and that we're actually participating in this electoral process is going to make sure that candidates from here on out and from years to come are going to pay attention to our issues and make sure that we are heard. All right, so once again, thank you all so much for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it. And Joe's got a comedy night next.
Can I say? 1 minute. What, 30 seconds?
Look, I love you, Joe.
Look, it's been real serious tonight, but 1 week from tonight, Rusty Nels, he visited his Crown Burgundy in June at the ACP. Now you get to see him at his home at the Comedy Palace. It's going to be a comedy and cannabis show. Off the record, unofficially, just for us crowd, there will be, at the intermission, you can go out in the parking lot and share whatever you would like. It's a consumption event. So, hope to see you next Thursday night, Comedy Palace, right next to the traffic court building in Claremont Mesa. Thank you, Dal.
Look, I love you, Joe. All right, thank you all for coming out. Thank you so much for 619 Spirits. Sincerely, really appreciate you hosting us tonight. So please make sure that you buy a lot of alcohol and get home safe. Thank you all very much.